While much of the world is still arguing about what the future might look like, China is already building it. Skyscrapers rising in a matter of days, entire neighborhoods and parks created with giant 3D printers, floating airports, and augmented reality systems guiding construction in real time. This is not science fiction. It is everyday engineering in China. The projects you're about to see don't just push limits. They shatter them, showing a country that seems to be operating a century ahead of everyone else. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. First, Huajiang Canyon Bridge. When the Huajiang Canyon Bridge was first proposed, many engineers thought it bordered on madness. The reason was simple. It was designed to soar more than 2,000 feet above the ground, making it the highest bridge on Earth. Once completed, it will break the global record for bridge height, surpassing a previous record that, interestingly, is also held in the same Chinese province. Building at that altitude, in steep mountains, creates a huge problem. You simply cannot bring normal construction equipment there. Traditional cranes are useless in such terrain and at such heights. So Chinese engineers invented a new solution. Instead of standard cranes, they built the largest cable crane system ever created. These massive cranes travel along suspended cables, carrying enormous steel trusses into position. Each single truss weighs around 23,000 short tons, and every one of them had to be placed with millimeter-level accuracy. To achieve that precision, engineers relied on the Internet of Things combined with China's Beidou satellite navigation system. Every movement was tracked, corrected, and optimized in real time. According to the construction team, the bridge is also equipped with a neural network of smart cables that constantly monitor tension, vibration, and structural health. The result is not just a bridge, it's a living, thinking piece of infrastructure, and it's only the beginning. Second, Menisky City. In 2015, China stunned the world by proving that skyscrapers don't have to take years to build. They completed one in days, exactly 19 of them. The project was called Menisky City, and it stood about 669 feet tall. What made it possible was modular construction. Instead of building everything from scratch on site, huge sections of the building were prefabricated in factories, complete with walls, floors, and internal systems. When those modules arrived, they were assembled like giant Lego blocks at a speed no one thought possible. Watching an entire skyscraper rise in less than 3 weeks feels almost unreal. But China didn't stop there. The same company behind Menisky City has announced plans to build a 220-story tower using the same method. To put that in perspective, Menisky City has only 57 floors. Their next goal is nearly 4 times taller, proving that, for China, even the impossible is just another engineering challenge waiting to be solved. Third, relocation of the Huayanli Shikumen complex. What do you do when you need to build something underground, and a historic building is in the way? Well, if you're China, you simply lift it and walk the entire complex. Authorities wanted to build an underground mall, parking lot, and subway connections beneath the Huayanli Shikumen complex. Instead of demolishing the complex to work underneath, they created an innovative solution: make the complex walk. Literally, using a combination of robotic hydraulic jacks, the entire complex, weighing about 8,270 short tons, was lifted. Then, in a movement similar to steps, the jacks moved, carrying the building along. With the building out of the way, authorities carried out the underground work, and after that, the entire complex was placed back in its original position. Fourth, Keila Power Plant. In China, the Keila Power Plant stands out as one of the most impressive infrastructures ever created. What makes this plant so unique? For starters, the entire structure was built at high altitude, with extreme cold, strong winds, and the altitude itself posing enormous challenges. But that's not even the most curious part. This plant is not fully hydroelectric nor fully solar. It's a combination of both. The plant area is about 170 million square feet and contains huge fields of solar panels and hydroelectric systems, working together to produce 1 gigawatt of electricity, all in a renewable way. And the capacity is expected to increase as the project nears completion. Built with innovation and cutting-edge technology, this is the largest hybrid hydro-solar power plant in the world. And building this on top of a mountain where temperatures drop to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, that's madness mixed with engineering. Get ready, because the next one will surprise you even more. Fifth, inflatable construction domes. China found an interesting solution to the noise and dust pollution that happens at construction sites. Instead of traditional methods, which often don't work well, Chinese companies simply inflate an air dome around the entire construction site. The result is a completely isolated environment that muffles the noise of heavy machinery and prevents dust and other harmful substances from spreading. All this material can be filtered using air filtration systems. With techniques like this, the Chinese have built incredible things, like the next building, 6th Fosun Foundation Cultural Center. This is the Fosun Foundation Cultural Center, and it hides an interesting secret that makes the building change every time you look at it. The theater uses a technique called kinetic facades, which are basically moving parts of the building. At the heart of the project is the Foshan Foundation's cultural building. One of the main goals was to create a kinetic building, almost like an architectural curtain, something only this center does in a unique way. The theater's outer curtains move slowly, so slowly you might not even notice. But every time you look, it seems a little different. Time-lapse videos show how each layer moves to create a beautiful wave-like effect, changing from day to night, making the building never look the same. In addition, these facades also play a functional role. Depending on the type of event, they can be moved to reveal or hide the balcony stage, the multifunctional hall, or to give a view of the river to the east or the buildings to the west. The whole structure is a true declaration of love for art, just like the next project, which broke all limits. 7. AICT 3D Printed Park. Imagine an entire park of about 59,400 square feet, built completely with 3D printing technology. That is the true miracle of AICT 3D Printed Park. Every bench, every structure, and every sculpture was made by giant 3D printers using concrete as the main material. And the shapes these machines managed to create are simply beautiful. The entire park looks like a fluid structure, with wave-shaped designs that blend smoothly together. Even details like flower beds, retaining walls, and curbs were 3D printed. And the most impressive part, this whole park, on such a large scale, was completed in just 2.5 months. On top of that, it cost much less than conventional construction materials. China has truly embraced 3D printing as an essential construction technique, while the rest of the world seems to be centuries behind, and the next structure proves that even more. 8th 3D pedestrian bridge. You wouldn't expect an entire bridge to be built with 3D technology, right? But China managed to do exactly that. And it's not just any bridge. The one they built in Shanghai is almost 85 feet long, making it the largest in the world in this style. Made in just 450 hours with 2 robotic arms. The bridge has wave-shaped side facades perfectly matching the surrounding environment. The main part was made with 44 hollow concrete modules, while the railings used 66 modules. Like other 3D printed structures in China, this bridge took less time and cost less than traditional methods. But let's move away from this technology and see something even more surprising that China has created recently. 9th. Anji Cultural and Art Center. The Anji Cultural and Art Center is one of those projects that seem impossible, but that China is turning into reality. What is most unique about this project is the roof design. It will be shaped like bamboo leaves, blending nature and modernity into something truly special. The way it will be built will give the impression that the roofs are floating in the air. Meanwhile, the white wavy metal panels will give the building a stunning appearance. But the surprises don't stop there. The building will have a system that reuses rainwater to passively cool the entire structure. Sustainability and practicality come together here in a true marvel of modern architecture. And did I mention that all of this will cover about 1.29 million square feet? Yes, it's as insane as it sounds. The structure is expected to be completed later this year. But this is not the only exciting project underway in China. There are also the Phoenix Towers. 10th. Phoenix Towers. The Phoenix Towers are a super skyscraper project that China plans to build in Wuhan. Want to know the height? The taller of the 2 towers will reach an impressive 3,300 feet. That would make it the second tallest structure in the world. But believe it or not, that is the least interesting part of this mega building. There are far more incredible things about it than can be easily listed. For example, the entire structure will be built on an island inside a lake with an area of about 17 acres. And that's not all. The real spectacle of the buildings will be their energy production system. The exterior of the towers will be completely covered with solar panels. In addition, the towers will incorporate other clean energy technologies, including wind, thermal, biomass, boilers, and hydrogen fuel cells. This sounds like next-level science fiction. To top it off, one of the towers will have the highest garden in the world at the top. China really knows how to raise the bar. I can only imagine how other countries will react to this, especially Dubai, with its ultra-tall buildings. 11th. Sponge City Landscaping. The concept of sponge cities is an urban planning technique that China has been developing, and it's impressive how well it works. Basically, China had been facing environmental problems, and the solution was a new form of landscaping. They build rain gardens, green roofs, wetlands, sunken gardens, and urban forests, integrating all of this into the city's design in a natural way. Why? The reason is simple: water retention and ecological diversity. These are not dry cities with scarce and uniform vegetation. These biodiverse environments serve several functions. Sponge City Landscaping promotes environmental health, offers refuge for different species, and works as a water retention system, helping recharge depleted aquifers and contain floods. Even sidewalks are designed to allow water to seep into the ground. And because it really works, this model has already been applied in several places in China. Kunli Drainage Park is a great example, functioning at the same time as a park and as a biodiversity center. The same is true for the Langong Sponge City Zone in Shanghai and the Hengchun Free Trade Zone in Zhuhai. The result is cities that are more resistant to flooding and with much healthier green areas, which also serve as temporary water reservoirs. That's what real multifunctionality looks like. 12. Dalian Jinzhuan Airport Island. You might think that other countries outperform China when it comes to airport architecture, but that's not quite true, especially with this new airport China is building in Dalian. Actually, not exactly in Dalian, because this airport has something very special. China is not building this airport on the mainland, nor on any natural island. They've built an entire island just for this airport. Construction started back in 2011 and is scheduled to be completed this year. So, in 2026, when Dalian Jinzhuan Airport begins operations, it will be the largest artificial offshore airport in the world. The entire project is pure engineering genius. Building an airport in the middle of the sea is insane, but China is about to make it work, and soon we will see it happen for real. And after all, China has been at the forefront of innovation for quite some time. Just look at the 3D printed Yangkou Dam project. 13th. 3D printed Yangkou Dam. The Yangkou Dam is a dam about 590 feet tall that China plans to build on the Tibetan Plateau. That might sound normal, but wait until you hear the details. The entire dam will be 3D printed from the base up. That means using the most advanced 3D printing construction machines, which work in a way similar to the 3D printer you might have at home. These machines deposit concrete layer by layer, and that's how China plans to build the entire dam. But that's only half the story. All the machines on the project, such as cranes, trucks, and tractors, will be operated by artificial intelligence. No human operators will be needed. They will move and work in a coordinated way, without getting in each other's way, without accidents, and without delays. This dam will not only be one of the most innovative projects of our time, but also a proof of concept. After all, the entire project is expected to be completed in less than 2 years. That is extremely fast compared to traditional dam construction methods. If China succeeds, it will prove that dams and megastructures can be built this way, opening the door for many other projects using the same technology. But these specific projects are not China's only advances in construction and architecture. There are techniques that are becoming common there and that sound completely futuristic to outsiders. Let's look at some of them. 14th. Modular assembly. China has been making huge advances in modular construction, as you saw with the mini Sky City building, built in just 19 days. But that's not all. China wants to turn this into a national standard. They are strongly encouraging this model, with companies emerging that specialize in modular structures. This applies to tall buildings, bridges, stadiums, practically anything. China has even started making regular houses with modular parts. You can literally order a finished house, which will be delivered to your land and assembled like Lego pieces or a puzzle. And the best part is that there are almost no downsides. Modular houses take less time to build, cost less, and are as strong as they need to be. Some of these houses are assembled in just one day. The more complex ones are ready and fully functional in 1 or 2 weeks. And that raises the question, is this the future of construction? Probably yes. There are too many advantages to ignore it. And as incredible as that is, the next technique China is developing is even more impressive. 15th. Self-climbing formwork. At first glance, it might look like a machine climbing up the building, but there's much more going on there. This is the self-climbing formwork system, widely used in Chinese construction. But how does it work? Basically, formwork is like a mold, where concrete is poured to harden. In this system, the formwork works in a similar way, except it can climb 1 floor at a time until the entire building is finished. The mechanism behind this is usually hydraulic. It works like a giant robot that climbs and builds at the same time. That way, workers can complete an entire floor at once and then move on to the next, greatly speeding up the process. There is only one limitation. This system only works for structures with repetitive layouts, which is usually not a problem in residential buildings. Either way, it's amazing to see how far human ingenuity can go with systems like this. And speaking of impressive techniques, check this one out. 16th. Ultra-fast rail laying. In China, you don't need people to lay train tracks. A machine does it for you. China developed a system called ultra-fast rail laying, and the way it works is astonishing. China has a very robust high-speed rail network that is constantly expanding. And it's these machines that make that possible. The system includes rail organizers, roller recovery vehicles, and tractors, all working together and controlled by artificial intelligence. These giant machines carry all the necessary components. They automatically place the gravel, the fasteners, and the rails themselves. Human intervention is minimal, and the results are extraordinary. With 90% of the process automated, the tracks are laid at an incredible speed. A pace of about 1.25 miles of track per day has already been achieved. And China is working on something even crazier. They are developing a system in which the entire process will be fully automated and will operate day and night, reaching even higher speeds. How far will China go? Well, if this already seems impressive, see how they dig tunnels. 17th. Tunnel boring machines. Tunnel boring machines are used all over the world. But there is a reason why China is so far ahead. The tunnel borers they produce are simply incredible. First, the size. The tunnel boring machines that China builds and uses in its projects are gigantic. Dozens of yards long, capable of opening tunnels as wide as multi-lane highways in a single pass. The only major rival in this aspect is the famous Bertha from the United States. But it's not just size that matters. China designs these machines according to the difficult terrains of the region. These monsters can withstand the harshest underground conditions and keep working efficiently. In addition, many Chinese tunnel borers are modular, which makes transportation easier. And by using artificial intelligence, these machines reach a level of efficiency that leaves the rest of the world behind. China has perfected tunnel drilling while the rest of the world has fallen behind. If you don't believe me, here's another technology in which China is so far ahead that it's truly impressive. 18th. Material transport with drones. China has truly embraced drone technology. They have integrated it into everyday operations. For example, Chinese farmers use drones to transport crops in mountainous regions. Firefighters in China use drones to fight fires. But the most interesting use has been in the construction industry. Recently, videos have emerged of companies using drones to transport construction materials, such as solar panels, across difficult terrain. It's faster, cheaper, and more efficient. But it doesn't stop there. China has designed drones specifically to lift heavy loads to great heights. Although there is a limit to how much weight they can carry, their speed and efficiency make up for it. One unique use of these drones happened during the construction of a bridge in southwest China. The drones were used to connect cables between two parts of the bridge, without the need for complex systems and without putting human lives at risk. How innovative is that? 19th. Bridge construction with rotating decks. It seems that building bridges is a passion in China. But while other countries block roads to build a bridge over them, China has perfected the art of building without disturbing the public. Instead of closing the road, China does something incredible. They build the bridge off to the side, completely out of the way of the roadway. And when the bridge is ready, they rotate it. How? The answer is hydraulics. The parts of the bridge, already fully built, are rotated by hydraulic systems until they line up perfectly. Everything is connected, and the bridge is ready for use. The road underneath is not closed for even a second. We've seen incredible construction techniques coming out of China. But how do they handle the most basic parts of construction, like laying bricks? Let's find out. 20th. Robotic bricklaying systems. Artificial intelligence has enabled some very useful inventions, and this bricklaying robot is one of them. China has been manufacturing and using these robots on construction sites for some time now. The advantage: they work fast, don't need brakes, and are so precise that you won't find a single brick out of place. With these tools, China has managed to increase work efficiency by up to 10 times. Not to mention that these robots don't need other machines or tools to do their job. They are pure innovation. But just laying bricks is not enough. There is another Chinese invention that goes along with this. 21st. Robotic plastering. China has also automated the plastering process. They have developed robots that can plaster a wall smoothly in a matter of minutes. In addition, they can level everything with impressive precision. Technology has advanced a lot, but it has not yet reached the point of completely replacing human workers. From what it seems, however, China will probably be the first country to have fully automated construction sites, with no humans in sight. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Leave your opinion in the comments. Meanwhile, let's talk about a construction material that is revolutionizing the way we build. 22nd. Self-healing concrete. Self-healing concrete is an invention that has taken the world by storm, and China has not been left out. Think of this material as a miraculous mixture of concrete that, when it cracks, simply fixes itself without any external intervention. But how is that possible? This concrete contains a type of bacteria that produces calcium carbonate, and when a crack appears, the bacteria generate calcium carbonate to seal the cracks. This type of concrete has proven to be extremely useful. The extra durability and longer lifespan mean that buildings can be safer and last much longer than before. One of the best examples of its use is on the Fenghai Highway in China. The asphalt on this highway has self-healing properties, preventing the formation of potholes and reducing the cost and labor needed for maintenance. China also uses self-healing concrete in sidewalks, bridges, and buildings. With that, we wrap up for today. Do you think China is living in the future? What do you think of these construction projects? Leave your theories in the comments below.